filled with sin, it's our souls that are. So sin doesn't necessarily damage the body, it marks our soul. It's our soul that needs to be saved. It's our soul that needs to be cleansed. The body's going to die and go. It's going to be gone. But that which is born of the Spirit, of the water and the Spirit. So do not be amazed that I say to you, you must be born again. Do not be amazed. You must be born again. So the necessity of baptism. It was a shocking requirement to Nicodemus. I can just see him looking and trying to comprehend this. Born of the water and of the Spirit. You've got to be born again, that is, spiritually give up this law of Moses and all the rituals of the Pharisees. You got to start a new relationship with God through water. Through water. It was a shocking requirement then, and it remains a shocking requirement today. You must be born again. So yes, it plainly teaches it as a requirement today. All right, we've got 3 minutes to answer all your questions you've got about God's plan of salvation. Every one of them. Just you bring them on.
Does the person that's doing the baptizing have to be in the water?
Well, we know in the examples we read about in the New Testament that they were, although we are not told that ever really matters, that the person baptizing is really important, because even Jesus did not baptize. Now, I would have thought that if I was being baptized on that day, I'd want Jesus to do it, but Jesus said the apostles can do it. Doesn't matter who baptizes you. So we do not have any teaching that would say that the person has to be in the water, but the person being baptized has to get in the water. They have to go down into the water. So the emphasis is always on the person themselves and the action that they're done, and there's nothing that teaches us a requirement concerning the person doing the baptizing. There was a real issue during the Restoration movement whenever Barton Stone up here in Lexington at Cane Ridge, when he realized that he needed to be immersed for the forgiveness of his sins, because he didn't know of anybody else that had ever been immersed for forgiveness of his sins. So he talked and had a fellow preacher that they worked together, and they both came to the conclusion that you needed to be baptized for remission of sins, but they didn't know anybody that ever had that done to them. So what they did, they went down to the creek and each of them baptized the other. It's the only way they knew how to do it. But the person doing the baptizing is not, there's no requirement or stress being put in him. And there are, probably say 95% of the people baptized, somebody goes in with them, but there are those circumstances sometimes where people are baptized in bathtubs, where the person just gets in and the person baptizing is not in the water, but they immerse them. In some third world countries, it's very difficult to do that. But generally speaking, I don't think there's too many situations where both people do not go into the water. I remember a baptism in Fiji, and it was like low tide, and they had to walk out like half a mile out into the ocean where they get enough water to baptize. All right, thank you all very much. Sorry I won't be here tomorrow night. I love this congregation. I love being up here. It's been a great 3 days for me. And we look forward to some of you coming down and being with us in February. And I think we are going to make that happen. So keep praying for us and we'll keep praying for you. So God bless.